Let me go to Maya Plent from The Shift, please. Over to you.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Director General, for taking our question. My question is related to the digitalization of the economy. And, it seems like COVID-19 has shown that there is a greater need to solidify this transformation. But how can we work on this transformation in a way that is not just, as usual, making the workers pay?
Yeah, well, if we take your question from the perspective of digitalization, I think it's been the experience of many of us over the last month or so, and indeed it's the experience we're going through today because we can't sit in the same room, that we're discovering both the possibilities and the limitations that digital technologies bring to the way we do our work. Many of us are working, of course, in teleworking arrangements right now. I'm sitting in a building which normally has 1,000 people working in it. I think we've got about 20 here right now. The rest are working from home. Now, one thing I'm hearing quite a lot is that the experience of working under the pandemic and the resort to telework is basically the precursor of things to come. There will be a before pandemic and a post-pandemic way of working, and that the post-pandemic, part of the new normal, will be much more teleworking, much more remote working. I don't accept that argument. Let me tell you, and I'm trying to get to the point of your question. I think we have to decide not what is imposed upon us by external circumstances, but what we want from the future of work. Now, let's assume that we get through this pandemic, we can begin to get past the social distancing disciplines. Do we want to work through telework? Is that a better way? Does that make our working lives more satisfactory? Or does it do the opposite? If you want the opinion of this individual, I'm fed up with it. I really dislike this teleworking arrangement. You can do so much with it. The novelty wears off. You lose a hell of a lot out of this way of working. And one of the things you lose, apart from the sort of lost in translation problems that sometimes come out of this type of arrangement, is you miss the social interaction of work. Work is a social activity. And I think more and more as we struggle with this pandemic, we understand what we mean by that rather abstract idea. So I really want to kick back against this notion that because it's like that, because it has to be like that, we'll all be teleworking whether we like it or not, and the workers will just have to swallow it because, hey, that's the way it's going to be. I prefer to take a rather more optimistic and positive view of things. We are discovering that telework has possibilities. I'm discovering as something of a technological dinosaur that I can do things I didn't think I could do. And it's quite fun. I can stay at home one day or do things in different ways. But I don't want that to be imposed on me by anybody else. The advantages of working when you want, wherever you want and when you want is great. Having to work whenever you want and wherever and whenever somebody else tells you to work is an entirely different proposition, and that's one to be avoided.